Homeless man watches rich woman dispose of expensive artwork in a dump, decides to look closer, and uncovers a hidden story that connects their lives in an unexpected way. On a rainy morning in New York City, the streets were alive with the hustle and bustle of daily life. People hurried past, umbrellas bouncing above their heads like colorful mushrooms in a storm. Among them stood Finn, a homeless artist, his clothes damp and his spirit heavier than the gray clouds above. He watched the world move around him, feeling like a ghost in a place filled with life. Each face he saw seemed focused on their own journey, leaving no room for someone like him. As he leaned against a damp wall, Finn's eyes caught something unusual. A woman, elegantly dressed in a bright red coat that contrasted sharply with the gloomy day, walked by with purpose. She paused at the side of a dumpster, her expression a mix of frustration and indifference. With a swift motion, she tossed a vibrant painting into the trash, its colors splashing like fireworks against the dull backdrop of the alley. "What a waste," Finn murmured to himself, stepping closer to the edge of the sidewalk. He peered into the dumpster, his heart racing. The painting was bold and alive, a striking contrast to the grayness of the morning. It seemed to call out to him, inviting him to rescue it from its fate. Finn hesitated, grappling with the weight of his decision. Could he really take something that had been so carelessly discarded? A voice in his head urged him to turn away, to forget about the painting and the woman who had tossed it aside. But another voice, softer and more persistent, whispered that this art held a story, a beauty that deserved to be preserved. What if it means something, he thought, his heart beating faster. He glanced around, half expecting someone to stop him, but the street was still filled with busy people, oblivious to his struggle. He took a deep breath, feeling the rain trickle down his neck. With a sudden rush of determination, he reached into the dumpster and pulled out the painting. It was heavier than he expected, the canvas warm beneath his fingers. As he held it up, the colors seemed to shimmer even in the dim light. "I'll take care of you," he whispered, feeling an inexplicable connection to the artwork. In that moment, he sensed that this painting was not just a piece of forgotten art. It was a fragment of someone's soul, a reflection of dreams once vibrant. Finn stepped back, the rain now soaking through his clothes. He looked around, still feeling invisible among the throngs of people. Yet, holding the painting ignited a spark within him, a flicker of hope. What stories lay behind those colors? Who was the artist, and why had it been tossed aside? The woman in the red coat was already disappearing into the crowd, her back turned to him. Finn felt a pang of curiosity, mixed with a deep sense of loss. I wonder if she even knows what she's lost, he thought, glancing down at the painting, still dripping with rainwater. As he turned to find a safe place to shelter, Finn felt the weight of the painting in his arms. But it was a different weight now. It carried with it a promise of beauty, of connection, of a journey yet to unfold. Little did he know, this simple act of retrieval would change the course of both their lives forever. With a final glance at the busy street, Finn turned away, clutching the painting tightly. The rain continued to fall, but he felt a warmth spreading within him, a sense of purpose igniting in the depths of his heart. What lay ahead was unknown, but for the first time in a long time, he felt seen. As Finn held the vibrant painting in his hands, a wave of memories washed over him, pulling him back to a time before the streets became his home. He closed his eyes, and the sounds of the bustling city faded into the background. In his mind, he was once again an artist full of dreams and passion. In his flashback, Finn was in a small, sunlit studio filled with canvases and paint. The walls were adorned with his artwork, each piece a reflection of his heart. He remembered the feeling of brushes gliding across canvas, the thrill of creating something beautiful. "This one will be my best yet," he murmured to himself, mixing colors with enthusiasm. His friend Jamie entered the studio, a bright smile on her face. "Finn, you've outdone yourself," she exclaimed, looking at a painting of a sunset over the ocean. "You need to show this at the gallery. People will love it." Finn shrugged, a hint of doubt creeping into his voice. What if they don't? What if it's not good enough? Jamie shook her head, her eyes sparkling with encouragement. "You're talented, Finn. You have to believe in yourself. Art is meant to be shared." But as time passed, the world around Finn changed. He faced struggles that he never expected. The gallery that once showcased his work closed down, and the art market shifted away from his style. Bills piled up, and the warmth of creativity was replaced by the harsh reality of survival. One fateful night, after losing his last exhibition opportunity, Finn found himself sitting on the cold pavement, clutching a crumpled rejection letter. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered to the empty street. Tears fell as he realized he had lost everything: his home, his friends, and his passion. Now, standing in the rain with the painting he had just rescued, Finn noticed how it echoed his own journey. The vibrant colors were a stark contrast to the gray city, much like how he once filled his life with color before despair set in. As he examined the artwork more closely, he felt a connection to the artist who created it, Celeste. "This painting speaks to me," he thought. "It's like she poured her heart into it, just as I used to do." He traced a finger over a bold stroke, feeling the texture of the paint. "I wonder what she was feeling when she painted this." Finn took a deep breath, letting the cool air fill his lungs. He felt a flicker of hope igniting within him. "I need to know more about her," he murmured to himself. What led her to throw it away? What is her story? Determined to uncover the truth, Finn found a small cafe nearby where he could sit and gather his thoughts. He ordered a cup of coffee and watched the rain streak down the window. As he sipped the warm drink, he jotted down notes about Celeste on a napkin. "Successful gallery owner," he wrote. But why did she discard her art? His mind raced with possibilities. Maybe she is struggling too, hiding behind her wealth. Maybe she feels lost like I do. Finn recalled the conversations he had overheard at the gallery before it closed. Artists often spoke of Celeste's brilliance, but also hinted at her isolation. She seems to have it all, but what if she feels empty inside? He pondered, feeling a strange kinship with her. Suddenly, an idea struck him. He would find a way to learn more about Celeste. If he could understand her, perhaps it would help him understand himself as well. "I will visit galleries, talk to other artists," he decided, a sense of purpose filling his heart. "I have to know her story." With renewed determination, Finn finished his coffee and stood up. The rain had begun to let up, and he stepped outside, ready to embark on a journey of discovery. "I'll find you, Celeste," he whispered to the painting tucked under his arm. "And together, maybe we can find our way back to art." As he walked away, the painting felt like a bridge connecting their two worlds, a reminder that even amidst pain and loss, hope could still flourish. Finn stood at the edge of the busy street, his heart racing with a mix of excitement and nerves. He had spent the last few days gathering every bit of information he could find about Celeste. Now, it was time to take the next step. He had a plan. Finn wanted to understand the woman behind the painting, the one who had tossed her art away like it was nothing. He walked into a nearby gallery, the bright lights shining down on the white walls filled with colorful art. The air buzzed with conversation as people admired the pieces on display. Finn approached a young woman who was studying a painting closely. "Excuse me," he said, his voice slightly shaky. "Do you know anything about Celeste Marlowe?" The woman turned, her eyes wide with surprise. "Celeste? She's one of the top gallery owners in New York. Her exhibitions always attract a lot of attention." Finn nodded, his curiosity deepening. "What about her as a person? Is she happy?" The woman hesitated, a slight frown crossing her face. "I think she puts on a brave face, but I've heard she's been feeling lost lately. The art world can be tough, you know?" Finn thanked her and moved on. He needed to learn more. Over the next few days, he visited more galleries and spoke to various artists and art lovers. Each conversation chipped away at the mystery of Celeste. He heard stories of her rise to fame, her talent, and her impressive exhibitions. But he also learned about her struggle with loneliness. One artist, a man named Marco, sat with Finn in a small cafe. "Celeste has done so much for the art community," yet she often looks so sad. It's like she lost her passion somewhere along the way, he explained, stirring his coffee. She's surrounded by beauty but feels empty inside. It's tragic. Finn listened intently, feeling a strange bond with Celeste. He understood what it was like to lose something important. I found one of her paintings in the trash, he confessed. I can't help but feel that it's a piece of her heart. Marco looked surprised. In the trash? That's not just a painting. That's a piece of her story. You should find a way to show it to her. Maybe it could help her see herself differently. Encouraged by Marco's words, Finn set out to find the upcoming exhibition that would feature Celeste's work. He wanted to display the painting he had rescued, hoping it could act as a bridge between them. Days passed, and Finn found himself at the venue of the exhibition. He stood outside, staring at the elegant building. A sense of fear crept in. What if Celeste didn't want to see him? What if she didn't care about the painting anymore? Finn shook his head, pushing those thoughts away. He had to try. Inside, the walls were filled with art, and the crowd buzzed with excitement. Finn felt a mix of hope and anxiety as he moved through the space. He found a corner where he could set up the painting he had saved. As he hung the artwork, he carefully considered his words for when Celeste arrived. Would she recognize her own creation? Would she see the beauty he found in it? Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. "That's a stunning piece," a woman said nearby. Finn turned and felt his breath catch in his throat. It was Celeste. She stood there, gazing at the painting with a look of disbelief. "Do you know who painted it?" Finn asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Celeste stepped closer, her eyes wide. I painted that, but how did it end up here?" Finn swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the moment. "I found it in the trash. I couldn't let it go. I wanted to show you its beauty, and perhaps remind you of your own." Celeste's expression shifted, a mix of surprise and emotion flooding her face. "You saved it?" "Yes," Finn replied softly. "I wanted to show you that it still holds value, just like you do." The air between them shifted as the realization settled in. Celeste looked deeply into Finn's eyes, and for a moment, they both understood something important. Art was not just about fame or success. It was about connection, emotion, and finding beauty, even in the discarded. As Finn stood there, he realized that this was just the beginning of something much bigger. The day of Finn's exhibition arrived, bringing with it a whirlwind of emotions. The gallery buzzed with energy, filled with curious visitors and art lovers. Finn stood in front of his display, his heart pounding loudly in his chest. He had spent countless hours preparing for this moment, and now he felt a mix of hope and anxiety. What if no one cared? What if Celeste did not come? As he looked at the vibrant painting hanging on the wall, he felt a connection to it, as if it were a part of him. The colors danced under the soft light, telling a story of beauty and pain. Finn thought, will she see it? Will she remember? He wiped his sweaty palms on his worn jeans and took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing thoughts. Meanwhile, Celeste sat in her luxury apartment, staring at the advertisement for the exhibition. She had seen it everywhere, but today it felt different. An inexplicable urge pulled at her heart, urging her to go. She remembered her love for art, the thrill of creating, before life became filled with obligations and expectations. "Do I really want to go?" she whispered to herself, unsure of what she would find there. Celeste picked up her phone and dialed her friend Lisa. "Hey Lisa," she said, "are you going to that exhibition today?" "Of course. I heard it's going to be amazing," Lisa replied enthusiastically. "You should come. It's a chance to reconnect with art." "I don't know. What if it's just another ordinary show?" Celeste hesitated, feeling the weight of her past choices. "Or it could be something special," Lisa encouraged. "You love art, remember? Just go and see for yourself." With a sigh, Celeste contemplated her friend's words. Okay, maybe I will. Just for a little while, she finally agreed, feeling a spark of excitement mixed with dread. Back at the gallery, Finn watched as more people filed in, chatting and laughing. He felt a wave of nerves wash over him. What if no one understands my story, he thought. Then he heard a voice behind him. Excuse me, is this your painting? A woman asked, her eyes lighting up with curiosity. Yes, it is, Finn replied, trying to smile. It's a part of my journey. It's beautiful, she said, studying the colors. It feels alive. Finn felt a flicker of pride. Thank you. It means a lot to hear that. Just then, the door opened again, and in walked Celeste. The moment she stepped inside, her heart raced. She scanned the room, and her eyes fell on the painting. It felt like a jolt of electricity coursing through her. No way, she breathed, recognizing the vibrant strokes that once flowed from her own hands. Finn, standing nearby, sensed a shift in the atmosphere. He turned and met her gaze. Time seemed to freeze as recognition washed over both of them. Celeste's breath caught in her throat. It can't be, she whispered. Celeste? Finn asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The realization hit him like a wave. This was the woman whose art had touched his heart. Celeste stepped closer, her eyes wide with emotion. You found it, she said, trembling slightly. I threw it away. I thought it was worthless. Finn shook his head, his voice steady. It's not worthless. It's filled with meaning, just like you. He gestured toward the painting. It speaks of struggle and beauty. Tears welled in Celeste's eyes. I forgot how much I loved creating. She reached out to touch the painting, feeling the texture beneath her fingers. This was part of me. Finn took a deep breath, gathering his courage. Can we talk? I want to share more about what this painting means to me. Celeste nodded, her heart racing. Yes, I would like that. As they stood before the painting, an unspoken connection began to form between them. Two souls, once lost, now standing together, ready to explore the meaning of art and the value of their own journeys. The exhibition had become more than just a display of art. It was the beginning of something profound. Finn stood by the painting, his heart racing. The vibrant colors seemed to pulse with life, drawing Celeste closer. She approached slowly, her eyes wide with recognition. Finn sensed the weight of the moment as he prepared to speak. Do you remember this? He asked gently, his voice steady despite the nerves swirling inside him. Celeste reached out, her fingers brushing against the canvas as if it were a cherished memory. I do, she breathed, her voice barely above a whisper. I painted this years ago, before everything changed. Finn noticed the flicker of emotion in her eyes. It's beautiful, he said. It has a story. I found it in the trash, and I knew it belonged to someone who cared. Celeste looked at him, her expression shifting from surprise to curiosity. You took it from the dumpster? I did, he replied. I saw it as a part of something bigger, just like us. She frowned slightly, confusion clouding her gaze. What do you mean? I see a lot of pain in this painting, Finn said, his voice softening. I've felt it too. Art can hold our struggles. It can connect us. Celeste swallowed hard, memories flooding back. I used to paint because it made me happy, but then I lost that joy. I got caught up in the business side of art. I forgot why I started. Finn nodded, understanding her words deeply. Sometimes, we lose ourselves in what we think we should be, but it's never too late to find your way back. Celeste's eyes shimmered. You're right. I've been running away from my true self for so long. Finn stepped closer, encouraged by her honesty. You have a gift, Celeste. Let it shine again. Embrace it. It can help others, just like it helped you. A small smile crept onto her lips. And you? What about you, Finn? What does this painting mean for you? Finn looked down at the canvas, tracing the lines with his eyes. It reminds me that beauty can be found in the most unexpected places. It reflects my own journey. I've faced a lot, but I want to create again. I want to tell my story through art. Celeste could see the passion in his eyes. You should. Your voice matters. People need to hear it. I want to show others that they're not alone, Finn replied, his voice gaining strength. Art can heal. It can bring hope. Celeste felt a warmth spread through her. She had not expected to find such inspiration in this man. You've given me a new perspective. I want to help you. Together, we can do something meaningful. Finn's heart raced at her words. Really? You would do that for me? Of course, she said, her tone firm. I want to support emerging artists. You have a story that deserves to be shared. A spark ignited between them, a shared vision blossoming in the air. Finn felt a surge of hope. Thank you, Celeste. This means more than you know. Celeste smiled, her eyes shining. Let's work together. We can create a space for artists like you, where they can express themselves freely. Finn nodded, feeling a sense of purpose grow inside him. I would love that. We can make a difference. As they spoke, the connection between them deepened. They shared their struggles, fears, and dreams, finding comfort in each other's stories. Finn realized that this moment was not just about the painting. It was about healing and rediscovery. I never thought I could feel this way again, Celeste admitted, her voice trembling with emotion. You've opened my eyes. Finn smiled warmly. And you've given me hope. Together, we can inspire others to find their voice too. As their conversation flowed, the world around them faded away. In that moment, they were no longer a homeless artist and a wealthy gallery owner. They were two souls intertwined by the power of art, each finding strength in the other. The chapter ended with Celeste feeling inspired, ready to reclaim her passion for art and support those who needed it most. She had found a kindred spirit in Finn, and together, they would embark on a journey that held the promise of change and renewal. In the days following their emotional encounter, Celeste felt a new sense of purpose stirring within her. The painting Finn had displayed haunted her thoughts, not just because of its vibrant colors, but because of the story it told. She knew that the art world needed to change, and she wanted to be a part of that change. One sunny afternoon, as she walked through Central Park, Celeste pulled out her phone and texted Finn. I've been thinking about what we talked about. I want to help artists like you. Let's meet. Finn replied almost instantly. I'd love that. I have some ideas to share too. They arranged to meet at a small cafe near the park, a cozy spot filled with paintings from local artists. As they sat at a table, the air buzzed with the energy of creativity. Finn looked at Celeste with hope in his eyes. So, what do you have in mind? He asked, stirring his coffee. Celeste took a deep breath, her mind racing with possibilities. I want to start a program that helps struggling artists. We can provide resources, workshops, and even exhibition spaces. It's time to give back to the community that has given me so much, she said passionately. Finn nodded, feeling a wave of excitement. That sounds incredible. I've always wanted a place where artists can share their stories and connect. I want to focus on social causes too, Celeste continued. Art can speak for those who feel voiceless. Let's create a platform where artists can express their experiences with issues like homelessness, mental health, and inequality. Finn leaned forward, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. Yes, we can organize events around these themes. Art can bring awareness and spark change. It's powerful. Celeste smiled, feeling the weight of their shared vision. Let's start with a small exhibition. We can invite local artists to showcase their work. We'll donate the proceeds to charities that support these causes. Finn's heart raced at the thought. I'd love to be part of it. This could change lives. As they brainstormed ideas, Celeste felt a sense of relief wash over her. She was no longer trapped in the superficial world of high-end galleries. Instead, She was stepping into a realm where art had the power to heal and uplift. Days turned into weeks as they worked together to plan the exhibition. Celeste reached out to her contacts, gathering support from fellow gallery owners and artists. Finn painted tirelessly, pouring his experiences and emotions onto the canvas. Each brushstroke was a testament to his journey, a reflection of the struggles he had faced and the hope he had found. On the day of the exhibition, the atmosphere was electric. Artists filled the gallery, their works telling stories of resilience and strength. Finn stood by his painting, which now held a new significance. It was a symbol of their mission. Celeste stood beside him, her heart swelling with pride. "Look at all these people. They are here for a reason," she said, gesturing to the crowd. "Art connects us." Finn nodded, feeling a sense of belonging he had longed for. This is what it's all about, sharing our stories and creating change. As the evening progressed, people mingled, discussing the art and its meanings. Celeste noticed a woman tear up in front of Finn's painting. "This is beautiful," she whispered, wiping her eyes. "It really speaks to me." Finn approached her, his heart full. "Thank you. I wanted to show that there is beauty even in struggle." The woman smiled through her tears. "You've reminded me that art can heal. Thank you for sharing your story." As the night wound down, Celeste and Finn stood together, watching the crowd. They had created something special, a space where art flourished and stories were shared. "This is just the beginning," Celeste said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "We have so much more to do." Finn agreed, feeling a sense of renewal. "I can't wait to see where this journey takes us." In that moment, they both understood that true value lay not in the money made, but in the connections formed and the lives touched. They had embarked on a new beginning, one filled with hope, purpose, and the transformative power of art. Share this story if you believe that art has the power to inspire change and transform lives. Leave a comment about how art has impacted your journey, and subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.